All right, we're back with another One Question with episode here at runningrestaurants.com, where we bring you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to make your restaurant more profitable and successful. Today, I'm with Zach Martin, CEO and co-founder of Order Out. Here we go. All right, Zach, online ordering is just absolutely blowing up via mobile, and still early times though, right? Kind of a bit of a wild west. So what's your take with all the players in the marketplace? Is it confusing for restaurant owners? What does the average operator think? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. So there are a number of players. You see kind of the main guys out there, right? You see the Postmates, you see the Grubhub, you see the Uber Eats, you see the DoorDash, partly because they do a lot of marketing and partly because they're really successful. In terms of kind of it being Wild West, yeah, I agree with that to some degree. But I really think at the end of the day, you're going to see these major players kind of pull away. I don't know if everyone's ever looked at the space kind of deeply, but there's actually a lot of acquisitions that are actually occurring. So you have these larger players, Uber Eats, Grubhub. There's actually another company called Bite Squad based out of the Midwest, and they're constantly kind of gobbling up some of these smaller players that are kind of more regional. So Grubhub just bought a company called Topingo the other day for $150 million, which is kind of like a college town food delivery ordering system. So kind of like with most any other industries, when you have these big kind of players, these smaller guys can kind of, get some traction and ramp things up, but they kind of gobble them up via acquisition. So I think that, the main large players, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, will kind of remain. I think those will continue to be the main stars, and they'll continue to kind of proliferate their existence within these other regions via acquisitions and mergers, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, man, I think when I think about it, I think that it is ultimately confusing for someone to get 10, 20, 15 emails from different providers saying they want to do that, and folks know they want to do it. But I want to go back to the beginning there and talk about the mobile aspect of it. Do you feel like that is really the biggest driver of why we're seeing an increase in online ordering via, obviously desktop is a way to do it, but people just using their phones and wanting to get stuff done? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I think that also is, touches to societal norms nowadays. I mean, every single person is on their phone kind of at all times. So the ability for these larger third-party food delivery groups to acquire customers and have their apps exist on people's mobile phones, that's huge. I think that's, of course, why there's such a huge increase in the third-party food delivery ordering via mobile. So yeah, again, I mean, that's pretty much a testament to the society that we have become today, where everyone's constantly on their phones at all times.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. If you go anywhere, it's phone. Exactly. Hey, listen, what I think is interesting about you guys is you're taking the space and helping the operators by simplifying this process of, there could be 15 providers in the marketplace, but you're simplifying that. Talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, touching to kind of the points of there being a number of different players in the space, what we've done, and at its most fundamental level, is we actually integrate the food delivery platforms directly to the restaurant's point of sale. So what I'm sure a lot of your listeners understand, that when they sign up with these third-party food delivery businesses, each provider actually gives the restaurants an individual tablet. So then the restaurant then has to manage these tablets. And ultimately, they have to take the information from the tablet, put it into the POS, which then eventually goes into the kitchen. It becomes a complete nightmare, especially when you have 3, 4 of these tablets constantly ringing. Some of these restaurants even have to hire a separate person to manage all these tablets. So really what we've done from a software standpoint is just integrated them all and push it directly to the restaurant's point of sale. So that kind of happens all on the back end, which is super, super nice for the restaurant because it allows them to be more efficient. But we've also built a data and analytics dashboard that provides actual insight into what's going on with their third-party food delivery businesses. So we actually give them reports on, okay, I'm making this much more money this month on Uber Eats versus DoorDash. This food item is selling more on Postmates versus Grubhub. So there's actually some raw data that we provide the restaurants so they can say, does this even make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great because two things happening there. It is exploding. It is a lot of tech, and you need to simplify. You know, you need to do online ordering. So please, folks, if you're not doing it yet, get the ball rolling. Find some partners to get involved with. Do some tech yourself. Work with these guys. So good stuff there. Appreciate it. That was Zach Martin, CEO and co-founder of OrderOut. You can find them on the web at www.orderout.co. That is without the M, so it's .co there at the end. For more great restaurant marketing, operations, service, people, and tech tips, stay tuned to us here at runningrestaurants.com. We'll see you next time.